Welcome to video 2 of Discovering Your Purpose. Listen, if you're just kind of joining us and you missed video 1, I'd go back and watch that now. You can find that link in the description as well as a card on your screen. And that way you're really kind of caught up as to where we're at. This is a multiple video series that's going to really allow you to discover and not just find your purpose, but really live out your best life. Again, we always want to live a life by design rather than by default. Please make sure you like the video. That helps the YouTube algorithms get this message out to more and more people because we really want to impact as many lives as we can. So with that, let's jump into the video. Again, welcome. Now let's get back to our coaching time with Robert.
Okay. And then the second area, relationships. Are you single? Are you married? Children? Tell me about that.
No, I've been with the missus for about 10 years now.
Okay.
So married, 2 kids, Connor and Savannah.
Okay.
And yeah, it's good.
What, 1 to 10?
1 to 10. I would say I would fall in the 7 category.
Okay. So much better than your health and well-being.
Much better, much better.
Why a 7? Or what would even make it a 10?
What would make it a 10? That's a great question. There's nothing overly wrong per se in my relationships with my wife or the kids. I have great friendships. I would say more connection, more quality time.
Okay.
You know, over the last 10 years, we've kind of got into routines and just living our life day to day, and I think we could find that spark that's been missing.
Are you kind of referencing some of the romantic side of the relationship?
Yes, with my wife.
Okay. Okay. And then the third area, your business. So tell me what you do, 1 to 10. Or is it work we love, or is it something we're not quite so in love with?
That's another good one. Not 1 to 10. I would say that's probably in a 3. Probably a 3.
Okay. Why 3?
Well, Steve, I am just underpaid. I'm undervalued. I'm undervalued. Excuse me. Underappreciated. I'm sure it's the first time you've heard this, but my boss is a pain in the ass as well.
And I'm sorry, what kind of work do you do exactly?
I am an entry-level manager for a supply chain company.
Okay. So the things that make it a 3, one, you said you don't care for your boss. Specifically, what else do you not care for? You're undervalued, underappreciated.
The work, it's not satisfying. It's something I can do with my arms tied behind my back.
Okay.
I've been doing it for so long,
Right.
It's just not challenging.
Gotcha. And is there anything about your work that you do like?
I love working with my people, working with the people under me that I manage.
Because you guys are friends and are nice people, or do you like the more...
No, Steve, not all of them are nice.
Or the more the leadership component of it?
It's the leadership component.
Okay.
It's more of the growth.
Okay.
It's pouring into people professionally and occasionally personally as well, but I like that part.
Okay. When you say pouring into someone even personally or privately, do you have an example of that?
Well, when, let's say, I see one of my people who maybe they're in a different state than they normally am.
Okay.
They're just a little different, and I ask them, and something is going on at home or at work, and I'm able to give some of my life experience and some of my advice, and it's received, and they either take it and run with it and have some sort of success, or they show some gratitude later that it helped them in some way. I like that part.
And so when you get that gratitude back, or even just seeing the success that they got, how does that make you feel? How do you feel about that?
I'm happy. It lights me up. You know, it's fulfilling. It's a great feeling.
So if that was the focal point of your job, that leadership component, that would change from a 3 to something different. You don't have to know the exact number.
I'm sure if there was more of that, it would be better.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
Another quick pause to point out something that I do think is very important. Notice up until this time, I've really given Robert little to no advice. What I have been doing is asking him a series of questions. Here at Coaching Business Solutions, we believe in a coaching style known as evocative coaching, which really comes from the great philosopher Socrates. Socrates, unlike any of the other philosophers of the day, would simply have his students around him, and he would ask them a series of questions, strategic series of questions that would lead them to their own self-discovery. Because what he knew is when people discover things for themselves, it's much more powerful than when we're just telling people. So what we like to do with our clients is really help people in a path of self-discovery. If you'd need more training in that area, we do have that available. And with that, let's get back to our coaching time with Robert.
Okay. And in our final quadrant, our time and money freedom.
Yes.
Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you say we're doing there, Robert?
Better, much better than a 3. I'd say time and money freedom would have to be around a 6.
Okay. And why a 6?
Well, we have the bills paid. We're not struggling per se. We just don't have the growth we would love to see.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't taken the kids or the wife on a vacation in probably 2 years.
Okay.
And I would love to make more money.
Okay. So have we not taken the wife and kids on a vacation primarily due to the financial side or more of the time side?
Both.
Okay. Combination thereof. So am I hearing we're kind of maybe a bit kind of paycheck to paycheck where we're getting by but not really thriving? And then why are we spending so much time at work? Like what do those hours look like, I guess is a better way to put that.
Well, I roughly spend 45 to 50 hours a week at the job, but I mean, I have a 2 to 2.5 hour commute each day.
Gotcha.
And so, I mean, if you take that time in a week, I'm pushing, I would say, 65 hours a week, roughly, give or take. So that's a lot of time away from kids, a lot of time away from family.
What do you think the being away from your kids as much as you are and your wife, let's say, what kind of cost would you say that's having on your relationship quadrant?
Well, I'm sure that plays a part with the connection we talked about.
Okay.
That I don't have a lot of the energy, from being holding the pounds that I have. So when I do spend those hours at work and I get home, I'm not as present as I would like to be. I'm not putting in the effort to create those connections. It's just more of the routine.
And how long overall, Robert, would you say you've been feeling this way?
That's a great question, Steve. I would say probably about 3 or 4 years now.
Why have we not maybe made some more significant changes over the last 3 or 4 years? What do you feel has kind of held you back or kept you stuck, complacent?
I would say lack of confidence.
Okay.
Maybe some self-doubt.
Okay.
Maybe this is just the way it is. Maybe I can't do more, provide more.
Okay.
Which I don't want to think that way, but
okay.
I think that may be what it is.
Okay. And we'll talk more about that specifically later. But let's say we've been in this place for 3 to 4 years. Let's fast forward 3 years from now, and nothing has changed. Life is how it is right now. Right? There's the old adage that says, if nothing changes, nothing changes. So if we just keep doing the same thing we're doing now, how is it going to make you feel 3 years from now when I still haven't taken that vacation or I still haven't gotten into the shape I want, the energy, I'm still working the job that, the dead-end job that with the, I won't say the same word as you, but with the not so nice boss? How would it make you feel?
Well, not good at all. Not good at all. I would feel like I'm missing out on important aspects of life, that I'm not providing the moments or the experiences or the memories with my family that I could. I'm not living to my fullest. I'm just kind of existing.
Well, let me say,
it wouldn't feel good.
I will say this, because I don't want to be too hard on you here.
Well, you're really hammering it home, Steve.
But we always want to just get a real good assessment of where we're at. And so I want to say congratulations on a couple things. One, I celebrate you for being as open and honest as you've been. And the second thing there that I want to celebrate is by giving me a call, you've actually taken your first step. So congratulations on the steps you're taking, and you're going to find we're going to get to the fun part here pretty soon.
I hope so.
Yeah. That's the pause.
I realize taking a client through their longing and discontent is not necessarily the funnest part of your coaching call, but it is a very important one. So after we've established where the client is at, we're then going to follow that up with typically 3 questions. The first question is how long have you been feeling stuck? How long have you been feeling this way? And this is very, very important. Robert was only in that place for a couple of years, but many clients have been there for 15, 20 years. Oftentimes I'll hear things like my entire life. And so that really speaks into a lot of one's mindset, something that we're going to cover in Module 3. The second question I like to then go to is, what if it's 3 years from now and we still have not created the change that we really want to create? How would that make you feel? How would you feel about yourself? And this is a very, very important question. Now, oftentimes a client might respond with something like, oh, that would never happen. I would never allow that to happen. But then we're going to go back to that previous question. You've been stuck in this place for 10 to 15 years. What really is going to change? So we want to help people see the realization of how long they've been in that current condition. And then the final question is, what is the cost if you do not make the change? Or what's even been the cost over the past 5, 10, 15 years? What quality of life has that really cost you? Now that could obviously be financial, medical bills, or things along that line, but oftentimes it's the emotional component. It's that I don't really feel good in my own skin, my own confidence. It's maybe I want to be able to go run around in the front yard with my grandchildren, or I want to get back and doing those hobbies and activities that I really used to like to do. So having said all that, it is important for the client to really kind of feel that pain, but we don't want to leave them there for too long. So as you'll notice in our training, we're going to begin to transition now into helping Robert really discover what his vision is, and you're going to see an energy shift happen. And so we don't want to leave the client in that place. Now we want to create the energy shift.